Hi, welcome to another tutorial on using Adobe Photoshop Elements. In this video, I want to talk about some tips related to using brushes in Elements. So let's go ahead and get started right away. Okay, let's begin by looking at tools that actually do use brush tips. You can see from this assortment of tools that I've collected here in a various number of screenshots that there are an enormous number of tools that actually do use brush tips. And you can begin to understand why brushes and setting brush attributes are very important in Photoshop Elements, because it makes use of all of these different tools. Let me dismiss this file here, and we'll just start with a blank new file. I'll go to File New or press Control or Command N for creating a new file. And I'll go ahead and leave the defaults that I have assigned here, setting up a blank new document. I'll click OK, and we'll go ahead and dock that. All right. Now, let's take a look at brushes. In the Tools panel, let's go to Tool Options over here. In the Tools panel, we've got the brush selected. And in the tool options, you can see that there are a number of different attribute settings here. If I take a look at brush over here, this pop-up menu, you can see that it shows me a list of the different kinds of brushes that are available to this tool. If I come to the very top right corner, I can click and drag this open so you can make this a much wider display and much easier to select different brushes that you see here. So I'll go ahead and select a brush now. Let's say number 45. You can see that right here. I'll click, and I have that brush tip selected. I'll press the Escape key on my keyboard and dismiss that list of brushes that you see. And if I come into the document and click and drag, obviously I paint with that brush. Now, one thing that's important to understand is sizing your brush tips quickly, because as you move around, you're going to want to change different sizes to address different edits on your photo. So if I want to size my brush tip up, I'll hit the right bracket key, and it's moving up on my screen, but it's not recording as a larger brush. But if I paint, you can see that I did indeed size it larger. If I press the left bracket key, and I'll do that several times, get it down to a small brush size, and click and drag, you can see that I have a much smaller brush tip. I'll get rid of that. And let me tell you about another way that I find much better to size brush tips. If I press my Alt key down on Windows and right click, you see that I get a little icon that's called a heads up display, the HUD in Photoshop Elements terms. And what it does is it's reporting back to me the diameter of my brush, the hardness value, and the opacity. If I click and drag right, you can see that the diameter changes as the brush tip gets larger. If I drag to the left, the brush tip gets smaller. If I drag up, you can see that the hardness value decreases. And if I drag down, the hardness value increases. So moving left and right and up and down will be a very handy adjustment. You must keep the Alt key depressed the entire time. Now on the Macintosh, it's much different. On the Macintosh, you need to press the Control plus the Option key and left-click the mouse button to drag left and right to size and up and down to adjust hardness. Notice in the Tool Options panel, we have an item here called Brush Settings. If I click on this, we get a little pop-up dialog box that shows a variety of different settings here. Let's say we take a brush, we get a brush, and I'll adjust the tip, Alt, on Windows, right-click and drag, size it down, and I'm going to click on one side, hold the Shift key down and click again. You can see that I get a line between those 2 points where I click. Now, if I go back to brush settings and I look at spacing, if I'm lower than 100%, I'm going to get a continuous brush stroke. If I raise this up beyond 100%, let's say I'll take it up to, well, maybe we'll just type in this text box 150 here. You can either adjust the slider or type in the text box. Now if I click, press the Shift key and click again, you can see I get a dotted pattern. That's all related to the spacing here. above 100% separates the tips. The hardness value can be adjusted here, and the roundness. We can also adjust the angle. So if I take a brush, let's say we get a brush tip, something like, we'll take this brush tip here. And you see I click and drag like so. Let's go back to brush settings. I can adjust the angle. So if I want that brush angle to be different, you see I get a different angle. Go back to brush settings and adjust my angle a little more. You can see now that I get a different angle again. So that's what the angle adjustment does. What you'll find is that many different tools will have different settings for brushes. So the only way to really learn that is to play around and experiment and choose different settings for different brushes and see what they do. The more you practice with brushes, the more skilled you'll become at using them. Some of what I've talked about up to this point has been just the basics of handling brush tips and setting different kinds of attributes. So at this point, let's take a look at how we might use brushes for a variety of different purposes, and I'll offer a few tips on doing that. I'm going to choose Open, and let's take this photo here, open it up, and let's say you want to watermark your images. Now you can do that by saving a file and searching around your hard disk and finding that file every time you want to apply a watermark. Or you can create a brush tip to do it. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'll start by creating a blank new file. So I'll choose File, New, Blank File. I'll just accept the defaults here. I've got a white background, that's fine. I'll click OK. And let's position my new document up here. What I'm going to do now is import a logo that I have. Just basically a text image. So I'll go to the File menu. Instead of opening, I'm going to choose Place. And when I place a file, it will come in as a smart object or a vector image, which means you can size it up or down an infinite number of times until you rasterize it. It's going to hold its resolution. So I'll choose File to Place, and I have an Adobe Illustrator file here that I'll just go ahead and choose Place. And you see I have Open as Smart Object in this dialog box. I'll just click OK, and then I'm going to press my Shift key down and drag a corner handle so I resize this. You can see that it retains its resolution wonderfully here. I'm going to click the green check mark to accept this edit. Now let me open my Layers panel over here, and you can see that this file that I placed came in as a new layer, and the layer is transparent. So what I want to do is select the text. To do that, I'm going to press my Control key on Windows, that would be the Command key on the Macintosh, click on this transparent layer up here, and I create a selection only around my text. And from that, I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to choose Define Brush from Selection. And I can name my brush now. I'll call this My Logo. Click OK. And I have now a brush defined. I'm going to go back over to the document I opened earlier. And now I'm going to go to my brush. And the last brush that I placed is going to be the one that I just created. And you can see that as I move this around, you can see the text that appears here. Now, I can size this brush up as large as I want or down, and I'll just click, and there is my logo placed on this photo. So I can use a brush as a watermark, stamp on a photo if you want. Yeah, the real unfortunate thing about Elements is we just can't automate the sequence so you can apply to 100 photos the same operation. Unfortunately, we can't write an action to do that, and we're limited, so we have to do this individually to each file. But as you can see, a brush is a very handy way to stamp a watermark. Now note, a brush tip will accept the color from the foreground color swatch. So if I have a file that's darker, let me just use this same file here. If I were to click in this area, you can see I can hardly see the brush that I just applied. So I'm going to undo that. And I'm going over to my foreground color swatch over here. If I press X on my keyboard, I invert those colors. So the foreground color is white now. And when I click, you can see that the brush accepted the color as the current foreground color swatch. So a very handy way to add watermarks to your files in Photoshop Elements. Let's take a look at another example. I'm going to go to my File menu, and I'm going to open up an image I have here. And we'll just go ahead and dock this in Photoshop Elements document window. I have another file I'm going to open. I'm going to choose File, Open, and open up a second file, this one called Butterfly. Now I create a selection and I save that selection so you don't have to watch me move around this object and select the butterfly out of this photo. So I'll choose my select menu, load selection, and load the selection I saved earlier. And I named it Butterfly. So I'll load that. And now this butterfly is selected. What I'm going to do is create a brush tip from this selection. So I'm going to go to Edit and Define Brush from Selection. I'll choose that menu item, and then I'll name it. Let's call this Butterfly. Click OK. All right, and then I'll dismiss this document, and let's create a brand new blank file. I want to use this as a working file before I composite it with the other photo that I have open. I'm going to now get my brush tool. Now, actually, before I do that, I'm going to create a couple of new layers. I'll create 2 blank layers here. And on the bottom layer, what I'm going to do is get my brush tool and stamp my brush. And to do that, I need to switch my foreground background colors to the default. So I'll hit D on my keyboard and then click. Okay, I have this brush applied to my background here, and then in the foreground I'm going to apply a different brush, but what I want to do is change the color. So I'm going to go over to my color picker, click on the foreground color swatch, and I think red will be good, so I'll use red. Click on red, click OK, and now my foreground color is changed to red, and I'm just going to click and create another stamp like so. Now I get my Move tool. What I'm going to do is move this file so I get a little bit of dimension. That's what I'm creating here. I just want to add a little bit of dimension. I'll zoom here, and then we can use the arrow keys to position this where we want it. You see, as I move this, I've got like a little drop shadow here, and it adds a little bit more dimension. Now what I'll do is I'm going to merge these 2 layers. So with the top layer selected, I hit Control or Command E, and it will merge it with the layer below it. And now I'll separate this file from my window, and I'll take this pattern now. I'm going to go to my Layers panel in this document. I'll just drag this layer over to the document to add it. I'll go ahead and close this window. No, I don't want to save it. Come down and maybe rotate this just a little bit. And then maybe I'll size it and position it. Give this a little bit of a Silence of the Lambs look here. And basically, you can see that's an easy way to add brushes from selections in photos. And you can see that you have a variety of different ways to create these different brush tips. Not only with just the default brushes that you have, but new brush tips that you can create in Photoshop Elements. One final tip I want to provide with dealing with brushes in Photoshop Elements is that you can load up a number of different brush sets that have been created for not only Photoshop Elements, but also for Adobe Photoshop. And there's just an abundant number of brushes that you can download from the internet, most of which are free. I'm going to go over to my web browser, Let's pick up Firefox here, and what I'm going to do is search the internet for some free brushes. And those brushes can be either Photoshop brushes or Photoshop Elements brushes. They're interchangeable. Either one will work. So I'm going to type in free downloadable brushes for Photoshop. And you can see that I've got some return results here. BrushEasy is one site that has an incredible number of brushes in it. So let's take a look at that site. I'm going to click this link, and we'll go to the BrushEasy website. You can see that right away on the home page here, you've got a number of different kinds of brushes. Click any one of these, and you can see that it's got a free download button. You click the download button, and you can download those brushes. Those brushes will appear by default in your downloads folder, and you can decompress it just by double-clicking on it on either the Mac or Windows, and it will extract the files in the archive. Then you can copy those files to any location on your hard drive where you want to keep some of your Photoshop assets. So I'm going to cancel out of this because I've already downloaded a set for illustration purposes here. And I want to point out that there are two places where you can add brushes to your brush libraries. One is if you open up, once again, our brush menu here, and come over to this icon where you will find a pop-up menu, like so. And you can see that I have down at the bottom here, load brushes. And though if I load brushes here, it's going to replace the brushes currently that I have, my default brushes, with the new brushes that I load. Now, there's another way you can handle this, and that's in Adobe Elements Preset Manager. The Preset Manager is found by going to the Edit menu and come down and select Preset Manager. And in the Preset Manager, it defaults to brushes, and you can see the brushes that I currently have loaded. Now, I can either add brushes, which will erase these brushes and just give you the new set, or I can append brushes to this set. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to click on append, so I'll add new brush tips to this set. Notice that at the bottom I've got 175 and 45 as the last three in this brush set. So I'm going to click on append, and I have my file over here. I downloaded some brushes called dispersion brushes that you use for dispersion effects, which I'll explain in another video. I'm going to click on load, and you can see that down here after 175.45, then all of these brushes from 2500 all the way down have been appended to this brush library. And now I can click on my brushes over here, and you can see those brushes are available. I can select a brush. Let's create a new document. You can see how this brush looks. Okay, and there we go. This is a dispersion brush. Dispersion is a very nice effect, and I'll explain that in another video. So to wrap up, those are some of the tips that you have with Photoshop Elements and using brushes.